holler if you hear me, and welcome to this week's edition of Luke Covers, because, well, I've not really talked about the Last of Us franchise at all, except for in passing, but now, it appears that there is something worth bringing up, in my case, about The Last of Us. We all know that, yes, The Last of Us was something where, as much praise and success as that first game had, though when I've looked at the gameplay, when I've looked at walkthroughs or streams of it, it really does feel like one of those video games that is right there with what David Cage puts out, any game he's ever made that isn't Omicron the Nomad Soul, where it feels like a frustrated, pretentious filmmaker who is stuck doing video games and seems to resent that. That's why so much of the game is built on cutscenes, and it seems to be actively resentful of player choice or interaction in one way or another. And well, The Last of Us 2, which for all of a guy like Neil Druckmann wanting to wax pretentious about how much he cares about this minority group or that minority group, but when it comes to the minority group of his development staff, he really did not care about their working conditions or their salaries, and thus when The Last of Us 2, the game, was out there, guess what? As it was about to come out, apparently because of the working hours they were given and the bad wages they were given, out of understandable spite, there were massive plot details leaked right there. And well, what was the response that the Naughty Dog and Sony people had? Oh wait, yeah, to do everything they can to shithammer and banhammer anybody that talked about the leaks or showed any footage of those leaks right there. You know, like Heels v Babyface, and of course just some guy also who got a lot of traction in this channel when talking about that. But that, later on, somebody being exposed as a complete conniving douchebag is actually fitting that just some guy would be the one that would get his channel big on the back of talking about that, considering what we now know about him and what was exposed about The Last of Us with its awful sequel. And of course, we all knew, anybody that even paid attention to this in passing would have known that with HBO doing a Last of Us TV show, that there would be eventually the point where the father-daughter mentor kind of relationship that was happening there with Joel in that first game, it would all be stomped away in order for sapphic love scenes and preaching about the importance of socialism even more than before was going to be the main source from then on. Basically, the Last of Us equivalent to The Last Jedi. And well, now with Joel being dead, people that remember that first game and that played the second game and have been talking about this and paying attention to this, well, eventually, of course, there was the big thing of will they or won't they? And by will they or won't they, I mean, will they or won't they, the makers of this show, the producers, the writers, what have you, would they go and actually continue to reinforce the garbage, the horseshit, the bullshit, the drivel of what happened there in Last of Us 2 with Joel being dead, so that now we could have some scissor sessions going on, just like what happened with the rest of the second game. And well, yes, they did. And you know who's been somebody that consistently has talked about this with an actual interest and passion for those games and for this franchise? The Critical Drinker. A guy to whom a lot of people out there in the internet realm resent, because not only does he not suck corporate cock, unlike your John Campias and Red Letter Medias, but also they can go and lay on him the same old tired, how, ignorant he is because he's never done anything. Oh, he's just a critic. He's never actually made anything on his own. Well, turns out that long before The Critical Drinker was a thing, Will Jordan was a thing as the author of the Ryan Drake series of spy novels. And now he's gone out of his way to now produce in his own way a proof of concept for trying to do a Ryan Drake adaptation. So, well, I hope that works well for him. And now, him doing a video about how the Last of Us TV show is doomed on account of it going through with the insanity of doing the same thing with the story of The Last of Us and expecting a different result. It turns out now, everything that people also were saying online when it comes to The Critical Drinker about how, oh, this doesn't matter to anybody, they're all just whiny babies. Well, when it comes to the video game bros out there that hated what went on with The Last of Us and all that, and The Last of Us 2, well, now you've got your normies out there who just, watch whatever's on the big streaming platforms to pay attention to this, and now they don't like this, and the ratings for The Last of Us show have dropped so hard you could swell that now Jimmy Kimmel joined the cast. But besides all of this, now you have Same shit, different day, same shit, different format. It's not just the audience rejecting what they've done with The Last of Us, it's also the powers that be copyright shit hammering a successful YouTuber who is rightfully bashing the idiots responsible for this terrible creative decision. Because now the Critical Drinkers video was, as of this recording, made completely unavailable. It was completely yanked away. It was completely shit hammered by the powers that be. Oh yes, a nice little copyright strike. Oh. Don't you understand? Of course, these type of Patton Oswalt-style soy shills are the last people on earth to understand that the more you try to go and deplatform somebody that has become a million-plus sub type of channel through copyright manipulation like that, you're only going to make his audience more motivated, more dedicated, and more building their lives around making sure that his content and his views grow and are maintained. It doesn't matter if it's Steven Crowder with his political views or if it's the Critical Drinker with his media views. You're just going to make his audience more dedicated towards supporting him and growing what he does. And remember, his entire life, his entire career, his entire reason for living in any way whatsoever is not entirely built on making sure he does videos that end with, "Go away now." No. He's got his Ryan Drake novel series. He's got his publishing connections and all that. He's got his work outside there to do that he's doing while also maintaining multiple popular, prominent YouTube channels right there, where, despite you all wanting to call him a filthy chud, he's able to also get people to appear on streams of his besides other people who UK accent their way across bashing Star Wars. Like, say, Academy Award winner Russell Crowe, or filmmakers like Neil Marshall, as well as people that are also prominent in the worlds of pro wrestling and in comic books. So if you think this is going to be somehow is going to stop what he has to say, no, it absolutely won't. This didn't stop all the people before when you tried to do this to help the assholes behind The Last of Us 2 cope, and it's not going to do anything to help anybody to cope with the failure of The Last of Us Season 2. And that's not my opinion. I know I'm right. So I want to thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel to hit 10,000 subs. Become a member today and shop in my art store at the second link below where you can buy my art or commission me, or you can support me directly with a donation. So until then, felines, slime it, lick it, suck it, and see you, Space Cowboy.